Dr. Charles Sorensen, Chancellor of the University of Wisconsin-Stout, will now deliver the charge to graduates.
Well, good morning. How does it feel? Pretty good. I want first to congratulate all of you on the very fine achievement that we're recognizing this morning. You're entering, as you know, a new phase of your life. And also, congratulations to your families. They have played and will continue to play an important role in your life and your careers. I would ask that the parents and families stand, and the students and I will give you a round of applause. I think it's really worthwhile. I'm a parent, and I know what it means. Please stand. It does take a family to make a graduate. Well, this may well be my last commencement, since I've submitted my retirement resignation, and I will then enter a new stage of life as well. I want to at this time introduce my wife, Tony. Stand, Tony. Tony's a woman I love, the best partner and friend one could have, and she herself had a very distinguished career, 43 years as a dancer, and always by my side, and I really appreciate that. Tony, thank you very, very much. I have spent 45 years, believe it or not, in public higher education, and 26 years as your chancellor here at UW-Stout. No regrets, it's been a great career, but I did spend time thinking, what do I say in my last address? I was trained as a historian, my specialty being the Puritan century, early America, 17th century. I know you really like that one. I taught early American history for a number of years. So I turned to what seemed very natural to me and comfortable lessons and examples from history. But my wife Tony said, for heaven's sakes, don't bore them with your life story, and for heaven's sakes, make sure you don't mention the Puritans of the 17th century. So I won't, I promise that. But I'm a product of the 1960s, though, and this was I was highly influenced by those both exhilarating and very troubling times. I was inspired by John Fitzgerald Kennedy. At age 19, took my mother to the Moline, Illinois airport to see him campaign. We were a mere 30 yards away, and I was awestruck. JFK brought a new excitement to my generation. He was dynamic, he was smart, he was optimistic. In his famous inaugural address in 1961, January, he talked about the torch of leadership being passed to a new generation, born in the 20th century and challenged by threats, by Cold War, by a menacing Cold War. And you are the new generation of leaders now, and you will be challenged by fiscal, social, and security uncertainties in this country. But you are young, you're bright, you're innovative, creative, and full of optimism, and the future is yours. So, do I try to inspire like JFK? No, I'm not a great public speaker. Or provide words of wisdom? No, I don't have a corner on that. So I decided to share with you several lessons that I have learned in my career in higher education. They're not complex, they're not highly philosophical, or difficult to understand. They're simple and straightforward. And first and foremost, do not forget or underestimate the power of education. Yes, the power of the degree you're about to receive. It is as powerful as any tool you'll ever hold in your hands, for it expands the mind. And with that, opportunities are limitless for you. Challenging careers and career changes are in your future. And it's a simple fact that education brings better lifetime income, better health, longevity, more civic engagement, and yes, more personal and professional happiness. And all of this means a better society. And yet higher education is changing, it's being threatened. State and federal support is dwindling, costs are rising, debts are rising, and you know that. Public education for the public good is threatened, and your generation will be challenged to change this, to restore the central goal of higher education and the good it brings to this country. And you have the power to transform. You must use that power to underscore the power of education for American society. My second observation is this: your degree is just the beginning. It's up to you now to use that degree in a useful way. You must have what they call skin in the game. You must assume responsibility to use your education to benefit yourself and society. If you rely on luck, and some people do, there's always some luck, I guess, in one's life, then define luck as Jefferson did, Thomas Jefferson. He said, the harder I work, the luckier I get. You must commit to excellence, focus sharply, work hard, establish a network of people to support you as you support them. In the past 25 years, this school, UW-South, has undergone phenomenal change. We led the state and the region in the laptop program. You all benefited from that, I think. We more than doubled our academic majors. We raised tens of millions of dollars to support students and faculty. We increased enrollment by 2,000 students. We used the internet to offer more than 20 programs to students across the nation and across the world. And we won in 2001 the very prestigious Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. When asked how I, as Chancellor, did that, I said, I did not do that. The people here working together, sharing a vision, forming effective teams, did all of this. The lesson: people are critical for success. No one can do it alone, and never forget that lesson. Observation 3 is, be a risk taker. Do not fear the future. If you do not take calculated risks, you will live with a fear of failing. You will live a smaller life. You avoid new ideas, new opportunities, and you will not live up to the great potential that resides in each of you. Taking risks is risky. It will test your self-confidence. It will rely on your inner strength, your social networks, and your family. But just study momentarily the great women and men of history, from Rosa Parks to Martin Luther King, people like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs. They were risk takers. They achieved greatness, and they changed the world. Few of us ever achieved the notoriety of greatness of these people, but we certainly can enrich our lives and those around us by taking calculated risks. And in this audience today, there are young women and men who will be the next innovator, whose ideas may well change society. Who will be the next Mary Barra, the very first CEO of GM? Maybe it's one of you. And finally, always maintain balance in your life. Professional careers are essential, and yet your private life, your family, your children, your church, all of these enrich and give true meaning to life. My life has been made richer by Tony, my three daughters, my 7 grandchildren, and 1 grandchild. I have loved being your chancellor, but my family has been the balance all the time. And yet, as Albert Einstein once said, life is like riding a bicycle. To keep balance, you must keep moving. And we have moved this university. With that as a background, my charge to you, the graduates, can best be expressed in a quotation borrowed from George Bernard Shaw that became the anthem for Robert Kennedy's 1968 presidential campaign. Some men see things as they are and say, why? I dream things that never were and say, why not? So I would ask that each of you take this sentiment to heart. Don't simply see things as they are. Don't simply accept the status quo. Don't follow the crowd. Instead, dare to dream, dare to trust in yourself, dare to believe in your ability to reach beyond the here and now. And in closing, I would share with you the words of former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice, who said, education is transformational. It changes lives. And that's why people work so hard to become educated, and why education has always been the key to the American dream. The force that erases arbitrary division of race and class and culture and unlocks every person's God-given potential. I have a granddaughter who's 7. And when she likes something, she thinks someone deserves an award, she goes, this is from Riley Jones to you. Good luck.